Hi, it's Heather
And Elizabeth Mercero.
and we're here live. Actually, we're here live in San Diego from one of our favorite cafes called Good On Ya Cafe.
We are frequent visitors to this cafe because they have an awesome menu where we can order clean eats so easily. And
Drink kombucha.
kombucha on top.
Yeah, it's super great, wonderful place. We're here today because we're going to talk to you guys about some ideas on how you can reset your health after the holidays. Currently, we're in between Christmas and New Year's, so it's a perfect time to get back on track and make sure that you head into 2017 feeling amazing.
Absolutely, and I think that it's so important to look at the holidays as sort of separate days, and I think that where we get into trouble is where we start to look at the entire month as a holiday, and we eat the cookies and
And it doesn't
indulging
just
in
start
between.
like right at Christmas. It's like starting people
Yeah.
at like Halloween, and then it's like Thanksgiving, and it's true, everyone's like, oh, this is the worst time of year, but instead we should be thinking of it as like the best time of year, right? I mean, we get to have celebrations, we get to have enjoyment, we get to just like be in that festive mode, but it doesn't have to be every single day.
It doesn't have to be gaining 10 pounds of inflammation and fatigue and all of those things. So I think that if we can just start to implement some of these health practices in between those holiday occasions, then we can go into the new year really feeling our best.
Exactly, and that's one of the things I think people tend to get in the habit of doing. It's like the end of the year and this motto of just like, well, as soon as we start the new year, as soon as we start January 1st, and it really needs to be like today you get a choice to make an incredible decision, right?
Yeah, and just building those healthy habits that doesn't feel like it's a far off goal. It's like, what can we do right now, today, tomorrow,
Exactly.
this afternoon that will make a difference in our health?
So that's why we're here today. For those of you who are just joining us, Heather Hemmer and
Elizabeth Mercero, clinical nutritionist.
we're here to talk to you about some of your best ways to reset after the holidays. So I love that. Lori Valentino, hashtag today. It's exactly true.
Exactly. Hi, Lori.
So I think one of the ways to start is really just by getting back to mindfulness practices. And if we can set ourselves up before a holiday and then right after a holiday and even during the time of celebration with mindfulness, we're going to be on the right track. And then Elizabeth, you have some like 5 really amazing, great tips for resetting.
Easy tips to implement today. Yeah.
Exactly. So Elizabeth is going to be talking about those. And, you know, one of the other things that I want you guys to be able to think about right off the bat is sometimes I think we overwhelm ourselves by trying to think of all the different things we're going to have to do and all the ways we need to reset ourselves. But really, if we can just come up with one action step, like one item that we can do like the next day, and then carry even just that one step with us when we make it a habit, we're going to be so much better off.
Yeah, we are our habits. I mean, I say that all the time, but I really, really believe it. It's the actions, the small things that we do throughout the day that we can really build a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, Elizabeth and I are just as human and as all of you guys, and festivities and celebrations are meant to be fun.
Absolutely.
So-
So be with the people that we love.
Exactly. And I'm curious from you, like, how did you celebrate your holiday? Did you go off the rails at all? Were you pretty conscious? And, you know, what did you do the following day to kind of get back on track?
Absolutely. So I did a little bit of both. I
love
definitely, yeah. I am human and I love the holidays and I love seeing the people that I get to spend these holidays with. And with that comes a little bit more drinking than I normally would do. I definitely indulged in some organic wine, and I had a little bit more chocolate than I normally would. But
And can I just say something real
Yeah.
quick? Like, I love the fact that even then it seemed like you were making a better decision. And that's something that I've realized in the last, 5 years, since I've kind of been more into my health journey. Like 5 years ago, my little indulgences would have been huge, but like as you learn and grow more about yourself, it's possible to even make your indulgences healthy.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
organic wine.
Yeah, we always have the choice. We always have the choice. And if I'm going to choose to enjoy alcohol, which sometimes I do,
Right.
then I'm going to do it do it from a place of just being conscious with the process, in my choices of the alcohol, in the timing of it, in having water with it, and the foods that I have with it. Yeah, and I really sort of adjust so that I don't end up really depleted the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great. So with the holidays, I can talk to you a little bit about what I did over the holiday, and the most recent one was Christmas. And Christmas I had here in San Diego with my husband. And I started in Oregon and did a week in Oregon with my family, and made tons of great recipes, enjoyed everybody, made lots of wonderful memories. And then I came home and had the holiday here in San Diego with my husband, and we make the holidays what we want them to be. That was sort of a decision that we made when we got married, and we were sort of creating our own traditions. And with that, we both decided that we want to get outside. We live in San Diego. We're so lucky that we get to go to the beach.
It's so beautiful here.
Oh yes, this weather is so awesome. So we woke up, I actually did a little bit of paleo baking that I gave my neighbors some warm paleo treats. And then
so sweet of you. Happy holidays.
Yes. sharing those paleo recipes. And then I went on a little run, and then together we went to Potato Chip Rock.
That's great. And that's a really amazing hike here in San Diego. If you guys are not here in San Diego, it's a tough one. It's great.
It's definitely like a serious incline, and it takes a couple of hours, and it's so fun to get outside and to just sweat and be in nature. That's like something that I absolutely love. So I spent the first half of my day really doing a hike, and that's a holiday tradition that we've created. And then went home, had a really good lunch, and well, I guess it was a dinner between lunch and dinner, and then went to a friend's house. And when we went to a friend's house, we knew that we were going to be indulging. And the way that I like to approach going to these holiday gatherings is I bring my own treat, something that I'm going to feel good about, that isn't going to give me a food hangover the next day.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I
be responsible for your own choices.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't want to deprive myself. I definitely want to show up and enjoy the things that I want to enjoy. So I make my own. I made my own peppermint bark.
Oh, I saw you do that on Instagram.
Yeah, so I used some organic chocolate, I used some coconut oil, some organic cacao powder, organic peppermint oil, and made my own peppermint bark. And I chose that specifically because I know that it's really rich in the flavor.
Yeah, right.
So I wasn't going to eat an entire sheet of cookies. I would have a couple bites of this peppermint bark because it's rich, and I would savor it, and that would be my treat for the evening.
That's great.
Yeah, and I also, and I brought my own wine, which is just Bontero wine, which is an organic wine that I know that I do well with.
Right.
And those were my indulgences for the evening, and I loved it. I didn't feel deprived, and I got to hang out with friends and giggle a ton and just enjoy the holiday. And the next day I woke up and I felt good. I didn't feel a holiday hangover, but I took the opportunity the next day to just really sort of connect with myself and nourish. Of course, I'm a nutritionist, so that's always what's on my mind, of picking foods that help me recover from even that little bit of wine or chocolate.
Exactly. And I think that's what kind of like the mindset we can all go into. And then Elizabeth, you can kind of give your 5 tips, but it's really about that idea of, you took the opportunity to enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. You didn't give yourself a hard time. No. You had no guilt about it, which is part of enjoying and being healthy, is taking away the shame and the guilt and knowing the things that are good for you, the things that work for your body, like planning your indulgences beforehand in your mind and being prepared for it. And then the next day, like immediately setting into that tone of like, I'm going to take care of myself today.
Yeah.
And opposite of you, when the way I celebrate my holidays is a little different. I really, really want to be with my family. Like my family is amazing, and I have a nephew who's going to be 7, and he's just a doll, and he's like my heart. And my sister and I are incredibly close, like 100% opposite, but incredibly close. So when I go home for the holidays, a lot of times I have to be more present and more mindful than ever, because my family's habits are not like my habits. So their focus on health and nutrition and the kinds of foods that I think are important are a lot different. Their activity level is a little different than mine, but I still love being like wrapped up in their love and in their compassion and that. So like for me, Christmas morning I woke up and I made sure to go on a run while everybody else was sleeping, and just really set my intention on how I was going to plan the day. And I did have a little more sugar than I normally would have. It's my thing. Sugar addiction is real. But I was conscious of it. Like everything I did, I made sure to have like a serving size, and then made sure to like step away from the situation. So it was like create breakfast together and then step away from it.
And check in with yourself a little bit.
Check in with myself and not feel upset if their choices were different than my choices, and not let them make me feel bad for my choices.
Yeah, it's
right.
So true. Like really owning your decisions and owning your time.
Exactly.
And owning your body in the way that you can choose what comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like how could I have best reset myself?
Yeah. So my easy peasy holiday tips here are my number one, which is sort of the base, I think, a really big foundation of our health, is to sleep more, because with the holidays comes stress and our to-do list grows, and the alcohol consumption might go up, the sugar consumption might go up,
right.
And with that our body needs sleep more than ever, not only for hormonal balance and to be able to feel good, but also in supporting detoxification.
Right.
While we're sleeping is when our brain is able to remove toxins, to really push the toxins out, so that we can wake up with mental clarity. And
it's really the only time your body has the time to rest and digest.
Yeah.
Like that whole phrase, I mean, it's true, rest and digest, and that's when it does it, when we're sleeping. In fact, somebody just asked on Facebook today about like how do you increase the health of the immune system for somebody older, and most everybody was saying like sleep. It's such an important piece of developing like a healthy body.
It absolutely is, and I think that we sometimes lose sight of that when we get really committed to our goals. But without getting the proper rest, reaching those goals are going to be so much harder on your body and emotionally, and I think that it creates more of a struggle. So when we experience sleep deprivation, our hormones really suffer, because our hunger hormones and our satisfaction, the satiety hormones, leptin and ghrelin, really go sort of out of balance. So we've talked about this before, but if you the next day, after you haven't had a good restful night's sleep, that next day, if you feel like you're, I call it a bottomless pit, where you're like, I just had breakfast, but now I feel like a snack. I just had lunch, but now I feel like a snack.
Right.
That is not a coincidence at all.
No, it's completely what's happened within your body and your hormones.
Yeah, it is. And to just know that could happen, it will really help you sort of manage those cravings throughout the day. So
yeah.
Number one tip, sleep. Yeah, get it, make it happen, and even if that means taking a nap.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, giving yourself that little
Post-Christmas
rest.
nap.
Yeah.
Post-New Year's nap.
Do it. Don't feel bad about it. And then on the other side, well, it's not really on the other side, but also moving your body.
Yeah.
Just getting out and moving your body, whatever that is to you. If you didn't get enough sleep the night before, if you had a little bit more alcohol than you would normally have, making sure that no matter what, you get up and you move your body.
Yeah, movement is really important for the lymphatic system because it doesn't move on its own, so we have to create the functioning properties to be able to let the lymphatic system move. And the lymphatic system is what helps with detoxification.
Yeah.
So movement, exercise, and I think like you mentioned in your blog, even just a brisk walk. You don't have to be doing anything intense like HIIT training.
Yeah, exactly. So if you wake up and you're feeling a little bit depleted that day, I really want to encourage you to check in with your body and not really force yourself to go out and do a really stressful workout if you're feeling depleted, but maybe do a yoga class or like a brisk walk.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to get that lymphatic system moving. All of our other detoxification systems in our body can really sort of do it on their own, but the lymphatic system does need like physical movement to be able to flush those toxins through.
Exactly. And I say even if you're traveling, kind of plan ahead, know where you're going. If you're going to a friend's house or a family's house, just at least set your alarm, decide to meet up with a family member so that you're guaranteed you're going to do that activity that day. Whenever I travel, I either look for a local gym or I know what's going to happen in advance, because that's important in order to get your motivation going.
Absolutely. We always look up local hikes when we're traveling so that we can really get the landscape, and it's such a cool way to explore.
Definitely.
Okay, so the next tips are a little bit more to do with nutrition.
Good.
And which is our favorite topic. It's eat citrus fruits. So citrus fruits, lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, they are so incredible, not only because they really provide the body with vitamin C, which would be fabulous in terms of recovering from consuming alcohol,
Yep.
but also they really support your metabolism.
Which is important. And
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, a great source of vitamin C, fiber, and then there's also in grapefruit, which I absolutely love. There's a lot of anti-inflammatory properties
Right.
in it too that will just, help you to feel your best.
And you can do anything. I mean, you can eat the grapefruit, or you can even just squeeze lemon into water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
there's lots of
So good.
options for
yeah. We're big advocates for lemon water in the
Definitely.
morning. Yeah, and then next is just eat vegetables.
It sounds
so silly, but over the holidays, people's vegetable consumption really, really goes down
Right.
because there's all these other baked goods and they're the easy things to reach for. But really just getting in those vegetables can make a huge difference in your body and your ability to detox, and the fiber that it provides to really get things.
the fiber, the phytonutrients, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
micronutrients. There's so much in vegetables that we're missing. And again, you don't have to be eating like a huge pile of veggies. I mean,
No.
just a small serving is enough, but it's important that even if you feel like, oh, well, I've eaten so much today, it wasn't the healthy stuff probably. So make sure to add that in as well.
Yeah, and also add in the sulfur-rich vegetables. Heather and I also talk about glutathione a lot and how it's just an incredible antioxidant in your body and really supports the liver's ability to detox.
We call it the fountain of youth.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. So it's onions, garlic,
Yeah.
the cruciferous vegetable family. All of those are sulfur-rich, and they promote the production of glutathione in the body. So really, it's supporting the liver.
So it's even easy to take all of those that you just mentioned, dice them up and roast them for a little bit, and there you have like an incredible, rich, yummy, delicious.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
lunch,
be
breakfast.
a cold salad if you're in
No.
cold weather. We can definitely roast them, throw them in a soup,
Exactly.
and yeah, they'll get you feeling good. Okay, so with all of that, with all of, eating these vegetables and stuff, we also need to always be looking at digestion and making sure that your digestion is on point
100%.
so that your metabolism can really go through the motions that it needs to go through. And so my number one tip that I just keep using over and over again, and we see results from it,
We do.
is a shot of apple cider vinegar about 15 minutes before you eat. And what it does in the body is it supports the production, or sort of promotes the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach,
Which,
we need.
in order to digest and be able to break down foods and be able
Yeah.
to absorb all the nutrients you need.
Oh my gosh, yes. So we need to have sort of an acidic environment in our gut, so when food is coming in, so that we can break down especially protein,
Yes.
but also the breakdown and assimilation of fats and carbohydrates. And apple cider vinegar is really going to up that HCl in your gut. And it's also going to help your pancreas release the enzymes that it needs to break down the foods, and the bile that it needs to break
Exactly.
down and move the foods through.
Yep.
So just one shot before you have a meal of a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water.
Yes.
The water is very important to keeping the epithelial tissue strong and
So
not
that there
breaking
doesn't
down
any
at all.
breakdown. And in fact, you can start with less than that. If you've never used ACV before, apple cider vinegar, you may not want to start with a tablespoon. You may want to break it down to like 1 or 2 teaspoons and
Yeah.
then kind of work your way up. You don't necessarily want to go over 2 tablespoons a day, but you can make it into one large drink and sip on it throughout the day. The benefits are going to carry through with you all day long,
Yeah.
You can kind of use it any way you want.
Absolutely, and it's also important to note that raw, unpasteurized, with the mother in it,
Yes.
apple cider vinegar.
So when you see the little speckles floating around, just know that that's okay and there's nothing wrong with it, and it's not
It's
like
good.
a bad bottle that you get. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually amazing.
You
if
want
you're
that.
a fan of kombucha, you see that as well when you're drinking kombucha. It's the same idea. So let's run through those again real quickly.
Yeah.
Those are like 4 really, really important tips.
Yeah, so sleep, number one, get that rest. Move your body to detox the lymphatic
Yes.
system. Eat citrus fruits.
Yes.
Citrus fruits have all the vegetables.
All
Eat
all the veggies.
Add in those sulfur-rich vegetables to really support glutathione production in the body, and then to support your digestion, specifically apple cider vinegar.
Yes, and you can make it into a tonic. You know, we always talk about an ACV tonic when people are really low in their immune system and really not feeling that great. So we combine the lemon and the apple cider vinegar and some cayenne, some cinnamon, some turmeric, and even some ginger. All of those have a lot of great like antifungal properties, antimicrobial, like they're just really good in supporting your immune system. So we'll eventually be doing a live on exactly how you make the tonic. There's some great ways. Do more live events just talking about those specific things like ginger and why ginger is so important, talking about turmeric and the importance of turmeric. I know we don't want to go on too long today and overwhelm you guys with all of these wonderful ideas of how you can reset your system. But you know, there's a couple things even outside of the normal health and wellness ideas, you know, besides sleep and fitness and nutrition, that I just want you to kind of wrap your mind around a little bit as you go into 2017, some other areas where you may want to consider detoxing your life, because all of this is going to really add up in who you are and how great your life ends up being.
How you show up.
How you show up and how close you're going to be to meeting your goals, because we all have goals that we set out for ourselves, but the way we reach them is dependent on who we surround ourselves with, what we're putting into our bodies, the environment that we're constantly in. So, you know, one thing I think is you definitely want to reassess your circle, not just your circle of friends, because our friends are our friends, and sometimes, you know, we look back and think, wow, if I would have met so-and-so, you know, this time in my life, maybe we wouldn't be friends, but they're like true important people in your life. But I'd say just assess your circle and make sure that you're spending the time with people who are literally lifting you up. And if not, it may be time to detox a little bit, just your circle of influence.
Yeah, it's so good because we sort of are the company we keep.
Yeah.
We really, it can make a huge difference in our life.
Yeah. And then taking on, how much are you taking on in your life? You may want to look at some times when you say yes to too many things, or if you have too many projects. It's important to have visions and goals and projects ahead of you, but just make sure you're not taking on too much where you might get overwhelmed, and then you're, instead of feeling like a success, you might end up feeling like a failure. So detox out of the things that you don't necessarily need to complete and really focus on those things that, again, are going to lead you towards your goals and make you feel successful at the end of 2017.
Yeah, evaluating what serves you and how you're spending your time, and really not being afraid to edit and not being afraid to say no, because then you end up spending your life in a more fulfilled, meaningful state.
Exactly. Yeah. And then lastly, I would say just be cautious of like the social media you're watching or listening to or taking part in, the news that you're watching and listening to. The things that we allow into our psyche just through technology and TV and radio is really important, because that energy is the kind of energy that's going to create your own personal energy. So make sure you do your best to surround yourself around really positive, informative, just like great information out there that's going to better your own vibrations.
Ah, I love that.
Right?
Good vibes.
Good vibes. It's all about good vibes.
Yeah, and creating them and really saying no to the ones that are gonna steal from your light and steal from your vibes.
Yeah. Shine bright.
Yeah. Love it.
TDM. And lastly, you know, in order to have a true detox for 2017, we're always going to be looking at food, and we really encourage you to make 2017 the year where you're being incredibly mindful about the choices that you make when it comes to your nutrition. So eliminate the sugars, eliminate the processed foods, eliminate the GMOs, and say no to big farm meats. So really be conscious of where you're eating your animal proteins, where you're getting your vegetables, and just what you're nourishing your body with, because that's truly going to be the starting point of everything you're feeling.
Oh my gosh, it absolutely is. I think that when you get your nutrition on point and you're removing the toxins that can come in from food, it is incredible the difference that you can feel. physically, and that really spreads to all aspects of life.
Yeah, it's so true. And I know it's hard sometimes, you know, it can be incredibly daunting to have the task of wanting to change your life and better your lifestyle and change your diet. That sometimes is incredibly scary if it's all brand new to you. So at the 30 Clean, we really have created a program to be successful and to hold you accountable and to support you and to give you compassionate coaching. Our groups are really small, anywhere from 30 to 60 people. It's all done online. So if you're ready to start something new in 2017, please join our New Year's Challenge. You're going to eliminate the most inflammatory causing foods, and then you're going to see how good you can actually feel when you're nourishing your body with the things that matter. So you're not only going to be nourishing with important and high quality nutrients, but you're going to be nourishing with positive feedback and an incredible support group.
Yes, yeah, the community is so huge because
Yes.
you're not alone in it. It really, like you said, there's people to hold you accountable, but there's also people to really inspire you that you can, you know, find recipes from and see how it works for them, so that you can create a healthy lifestyle and not a stressful short diet. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so exciting, and our New Year's Challenge starts on January 16th, and you get invited to your Facebook group a week before, so it really gives you enough time to be prepared and make sure that you understand exactly what you're doing when you're going into the challenge. And registration ends on Friday the 6th. We have early pricing right now. It's $70 until Friday, so until tomorrow night at midnight. You can register at the30clean.com. And we have a bunch of different challenges to choose from. You can choose a standard challenge, you can do one with your family, you can even do a fit challenge. But I promise you, it is such an incredible way to reset your body and to reset your mind and go into 2017 fully supported in your health and nutrition.
Yeah, and learning. The education that comes through this challenge is just incredible. It's knowledge that you can keep with you for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
It really is a lifestyle change. It's not about a quick fix.
Yeah, so we hope that you join us in January. We will be there eating clean foods and
we will.
really starting the new year off feeling our best.
Yep, delicious recipes.
Yes, to
From
come.
Elizabeth. All right, thank you guys. Have an incredible day and happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.